quiet little forest, there lived a cuddly bear named Benny. Benny was the sleepiest bear in the whole forest. No matter what time of day it was, he always felt a little bit sleepy. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills and the sky turned a soft shade of purple, Benny let out a big W-arm yawn. "Oh, I think it's time for my bedtime," he mumbled, stretching his fluffy paws. The wind whispered gently through the trees, and the stars twinkled softly above. Benny waddled to his favourite sleeping spot, a cosy little cave lined with soft moss and fallen leaves. But tonight, something felt different. Even though his eyes were heavy, Benny couldn't fall asleep. He tossed and turned, curled up in a ball, then stretched out again. "Why can't I sleep?" he wondered. Just then, his friend Luna the owl fluttered down from a nearby tree. "Benny, try taking slow, deep breaths, in and out like the gentle wind," Luna hooted softly. Benny closed his eyes and took a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Then Rusty the rabbit hopped over and whispered, "Imagine you are floating on a fluffy cloud, drifting through the sky, feeling warm and cozy." Benny imagined the softest cloud carrying him high above the forest, rocking him gently like a cradle. His big bare body became lighter and lighter. Next, the little fireflies around him blinked their tiny lights in a slow, sleepy rhythm. Blink, 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 like a lullaby made of stars. Benny let out one last sleepy sigh. This feels nice," he murmured, his voice getting softer. His paws relaxed, his breathing slowed, and his eyes finally closed. And just like that, Benny the sleepy bear drifted into the sweetest dream, filled with soft clouds, twinkling stars, and the comforting whispers of the night. Good night, little one. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let your dreams carry you away. Just like Benny. Hello, little one. It's time to go to bed now. Close your eyes, relax your body, and listen to a wonderful story. And now, the story begins. The sun was beginning to set over the peaceful forest, casting a golden glow through the trees. Tiny Hugo the hedgehog stretched his paws and wiggled his little nose as he peeked outside his cozy burrow. Today was a very special day. His best friend, Bella the bunny, was having a birthday party. Hugo had been looking forward to this all week. He had picked the juiciest, reddest berry from the bushes and wrapped it carefully in a fresh green leaf. He held it close as he started his journey through the woods. As he walked, he could hear the distant sounds of laughter and music. The closer he got, the more excited he became. His tiny feet pattered quickly against the soft grass until, at last, it was magical. Colourful balloons swayed gently in the breeze, and long strings of wildflowers decorated the trees. A big wooden table was filled with delicious treats, crunchy nuts, sweet honey cakes, and juicy berries. A large round cake covered in wildflowers sat right in the centre. Bella saw Hugo and hopped over with a big smile. "Hugo, you made it!" she cheered, giving him a warm hug. "Happy birthday, Bella," Hugo said, holding out his carefully wrapped berry. Bella's eyes sparkled as she unwrapped it. "Oh, Hugo, this is the biggest, juiciest berry I've ever seen. Thank you so much." She carefully placed it on the table next to the cake. "Come on, we're about to play games." The first game was tag. Bella, Hugo, Charlie the squirrel, Mia the mouse, and Oliver the owl ran in circles, laughing and dodging each other. Charlie was the fastest, darting around like a flash, while Hugo giggled as he tried to keep up. Next, they played musical leaves. Bella tapped a tiny drum, while everyone danced around a circle of colourful autumn leaves. When the music stopped, they had to quickly find a leaf to sit on. Hugo spun in circles, giggling as he plopped onto a soft red leaf just in time. After that, it was time for jump over the log. Each friend took turns hopping over a big log. Hugo was small, but he was determined. He took a deep breath, wiggled his little nose, and with a mighty leap made it. "Yay, Hugo, you did it!" Mia cheered. The friends clapped and cheered as Hugo smiled proudly. Then came Hugo's favourite part, cake time. Everyone gathered around as Bella's mother placed the candle on the big round honey cake. "Make a wish, Bella," Oliver said. Bella closed her eyes, made a wish, and blew out the candle. Everyone cheered, and soon they were all munching on sweet, soft cake. Hugo took a big bite, and his little tummy felt warm and happy. But after so much running, playing, and eating, Hugo started to feel very, very sleepy. He yawned and rubbed his tiny eyes. "I think I need to go home now," he said softly, stretching his paws. "Oh no, Hugo, don't leave yet," Bella said. "We still have one more game to play," Charlie added. "And more cake," Mia said, handing him another slice. Hugo loved his friends and didn't want to miss out on the fun, but his paws felt heavy and his eyes kept closing. He tried to sit up straight, but his little body was getting too tired. "I had so much fun, but I really need to sleep now," Hugo said gently. Bella looked at him and smiled. "That's okay, Hugo. Good friends. Listen to each other. Have a good sleep." Everyone gave Hugo a warm hug before he waddled back home. The forest was quiet now, with only the soft sounds of crickets and rustling leaves in the wind. The moon shone gently through the trees, lighting the path to Hugo's burrow. He curled up into a soft, warm ball, his tiny nose tucked under his paws. As he closed his eyes, he thought about all the fun he had, the games, the laughter, and the delicious cake. Today was a wonderful day, he whispered sleepily to himself. And with a happy sigh, Hugo drifted off into a deep, peaceful sleep, dreaming of the next adventure with his friends. Good night, Hugo. Good night, little one. Having trouble getting your little one to sleep? Let this gentle bedtime story and soothing music lull them into a deep, peaceful slumber. Join a curious little sheep on a magical adventure to uncover the wonders of the sky. Sweet dreams await. Max was not like the other sheep in the meadow. While his friends spent their days grazing, playing, and sleeping under the golden sun, Max often found himself staring at the sky, dreaming of what lay beyond the fluffy clouds. The vast blue sky seemed endless, full of mysteries, waiting to be uncovered. At night, while the other sheep huddled together in the barn, Max would sneak out and climb to the top of the hill, where he could see the moon shining brightly above. He would gaze at the twinkling stars and imagine himself floating among them, soaring through the heavens like a bird. One evening, after a long day of playing, Max lay on his back, watching the clouds drift lazily across the sky. "I wonder what it's like up there," he whispered to himself. "What do the clouds feel like? Do they have a home? Do they ever get tired of floating?" Just as he was lost in thought, a gentle breeze brushed against his wool, and a soft, fluffy cloud descended from the sky, stopping just above him. Max blinked in surprise. The cloud was unlike any he had ever seen before. It was pure white, almost glowing in the fading sunlight, and it had a warm, inviting presence. "Hello, Max." The cloud spoke in a voice as light as the wind. "Would you like to go on an adventure?" Max's eyes widened with excitement. An adventure? In the sky? The cloud nodded. "Yes, climb aboard, and I will take you on a journey you will never forget." Max hesitated for only a moment before leaping onto the cloud's soft surface. It felt like lying on the fluffiest pillow imaginable. The cloud slowly began to rise, lifting Max higher and higher into the sky. As they ascended, The meadow below grew smaller and smaller until it was just a patchwork of green fields and tiny specks of sheep. Max gasped in amazement. He had never seen the world from this perspective before. "Wow, I can see everything," he exclaimed. "Look, there's the river and the barn, and oh, there's my favorite tree." The cloud chuckled. "The world looks different from up here, doesn't it?" Max nodded eagerly. "It's like a giant painting. But where are we going?" "We are going to visit the Sky Kingdom," the cloud said mysteriously. "A place where the clouds rest, the stars dance, and the wind sings." Max's heart raced with excitement. He had always dreamed of exploring the sky, but he had never imagined there could be a whole kingdom up here. As they floated higher, Max saw other clouds drifting by, each one different in shape and size. Some were fluffy and round, while others stretched out like long, wispy trails of cotton. He even saw a cloud shaped like a giant bunny hopping across the sky. "Hello!" Max called out, waving his tiny hoof. The bunny-shaped cloud wiggled its ears in response before hopping away into the distance. "This is amazing," Max said, turning to his cloud companion. "But what exactly is the Sky Kingdom?" "You will see soon enough," the cloud replied. "But first, we must pass through the gates of twilight." As the sun began to set, the sky transformed into a canvas of pink, orange, and purple. Ahead of them, Max saw two towering clouds shaped like majestic gates. They shimmered with a soft golden glow, and between them a pathway of sparkling light stretched into the distance. "These are the gates of twilight," the cloud explained. "Only those who believe in dreams can pass through." Max gulped. "What happens if I don't believe enough?" The cloud smiled. "Then you will wake up back in your meadow, and this will all be just a dream." Max closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He believed in dreams more than anything. He thought about all the nights he had spent staring at the stars, wishing he could fly. He thought about the stories he had imagined, the adventures he had longed for. As he opened his eyes, the gates shimmered even brighter, and the pathway of light stretched out to welcome them. "You did it, Max," the cloud said proudly. "Now, let's enter the Sky Kingdom." Beyond the gates, the sky was more magical than Max had ever imagined. Floating islands made of clouds drifted lazily, each one home to something extraordinary. One island had a castle made entirely of stardust, its towers sparkling like diamonds. Another had a great tree with leaves made of golden light, glowing softly in the evening air. Max saw birds with shimmering feathers that changed colour as they flew, and gentle gusts of wind that played music as they danced around the floating islands. "This place, it's like a dream," Max whispered in awe. "Dreams and reality are closer than you think," the cloud replied. "Now, Would you like to visit the Star Garden? Max nodded eagerly. Yes, please. The cloud carried him to a floating meadow filled with tiny glowing flowers. Max bent down and touched one. Gently it was warm and pulsing, like a heartbeat. These are baby stars, the cloud explained. Before they are sent into the night sky, they grow here, gathering light and energy. Max's eyes widened. So, this is where stars come from. Just then, a tiny star wobbled up to Max, twinkling softly. Hello there, little one, Max said, smiling. Are you ready to shine in the night sky? The star twinkled happily and floated up, joining a group of other baby stars preparing for their journey into the universe. Max sighed happily. I wish I could stay here forever. The cloud chuckled. All dreams must come to an end, Max, but they never truly leave us. Max felt a warm breeze surround him, and before he knew it, his eyelids grew heavy. He yawned and snuggled into the cloud's soft embrace. When Max opened his eyes, he was back in his meadow, lying on the soft grass beneath the stars. The cloud was nowhere to be seen, but the sky seemed to shimmer a little brighter, as if it were saying goodbye. Max smiled and curled up into a cozy ball. He knew now that dreams were not just fantasies, they were adventures waiting to happen. And maybe, just maybe, the floating cloud would return one night to take him on another journey. As he drifted off to sleep, a tiny twinkle appeared in the sky, a new star, shining just for him. Hello, little one. It's time to relax and drift into sweet dreams. Tonight, you'll join Luma, the little water droplet, on a magical journey. Close your eyes, listen to the gentle story, and let Luma take you to wonderful dreamland. Sleep well and have beautiful dreams. High up in the sky, where the clouds drifted like soft pillows, a tiny raindrop named Luma was waiting for her turn to begin a journey. She was small, round, and shimmered like a little pearl, nestled among millions of other raindrops inside a big, fluffy cloud. Luma often wondered what it would be like to dance through the sky, to feel the wind's embrace, and to touch the earth below. She listened as the older raindrops told stories of their adventures of landing on tree leaves, slipping into rivers, and becoming part of the great ocean. She dreamed of where she might go. One evening, the sky turned a deep shade of blue, and a cool wind whispered through the clouds. The cloud Luma lived in stretched and yawned. It's time, the cloud murmured softly. Time for you to begin your journey, little ones. Luma felt a gentle pull. She wobbled at first, then with a tiny leap, she let go. Down, down, down she floated, twirling in the air like a dancer. The wind was kind, cradling her as she fell, guiding her softly through the sky. She felt light, free, and happy. As she drifted, she saw the world below, a vast land covered in green, golden fields, stretching toward the horizon, rivers winding like silver ribbons, and a quiet village where tiny lights flickered in the night. Before she could reach the ground, she landed gently on something soft and cool. It was the petal of a beautiful pink flower, swaying ever so slightly in the breeze. "Hello there," the flower whispered. "You are light as a dream." Luma giggled. She rolled along the petal, feeling its silky texture beneath her tiny form. It was peaceful here, with the scent of flowers filling the night air. She wanted to stay, but the wind had other plans. A soft breeze lifted her once more, carrying her away from the flower and down toward a quiet stream. Luma landed with a soft plip into the clear water, joining 100 other raindrops that shimmered like tiny stars in the moonlight. The stream hummed a lullaby as it flowed over smooth, round pebbles, its voice gentle and soothing. "Where are we going?" Luma asked the other raindrops. "Wherever the water takes us," they whispered. Luma let herself be carried by the gentle current, gliding over stones and through tiny ripples. The sound of the water was like a song, soft and steady, like a mother's heartbeat. She felt safe, floating along with her new friends. As they travelled, the stream grew wider and calmer. It led Luma to a quiet pond, where lily pads rested on the surface and fireflies blinked like tiny lanterns in the night. There, at the edge of the pond, a little child lay curled up in bed, their window slightly open. A cool breeze carried the sounds of the night, the rustling leaves, the whispering water, and the soft patter of raindrops on the roof. Luma drifted closer, her tiny form landing on the pond's surface. She sent out gentle ripples that spread like a lullaby through the water. The rhythm was slow, peaceful, and full of warmth. The little child sighed in their sleep, snuggling deeper into their blanket. The night wrapped around them like a soft embrace, filled with the sounds of the wind, the water, and the music of the rain. Luma smiled. She had become part of the hush of the evening, a tiny note in the lullaby of the world. And as the moon watched over them all, the child and the raindrop drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep. Little Ellie the elephant wanders through the forest, searching for the perfect lullaby. But which melody will truly bring her warmth and peace? Let's listen to her story. In a lush green jungle, where the trees swayed with the whispering wind and the stars twinkled like tiny lanterns in the sky, lived a little elephant named Ellie. Ellie had big, curious eyes and a heart full of wonder. She loved the rustling of leaves, the babbling of the brook, and the songs of birds as they welcomed the morning sun. But more than anything, Ellie adored lullabies. Every night, as the moon shone down on the jungle, Ellie would listen to the soft hums of nature and wish for the perfect lullaby to carry her into a peaceful sleep. One evening, as she lay on a bed of soft leaves, she asked aloud, "Is there a lullaby that is more beautiful than any other? A song so perfect that it can make me sleep soundly every night?" Her question lingered in the night air, and with a determined heart, Ellie decided that she would find the perfect lullaby. As the first rays of dawn kissed the treetops, Ellie set off on her adventure. The jungle was alive with the morning symphony, the chatter of monkeys, the cheerful chirps of birds, and the rustling of sleepy leaves. Ellie, with her tiny yet strong legs, walked through the thick foliage, her ears flapping in excitement. Ellie soon found herself near a flowering tree, where a little nightingale perched on a branch, singing a sweet, lilting tune. The melody was so gentle that the leaves seemed to dance along. "Oh, nightingale," Ellie said, her eyes wide with hope. "Your song is beautiful. Is this the perfect lullaby?" The nightingale smiled. "My song is meant to greet the morning and bid farewell to the night. It carries the joy of a new day, but a true lullaby should bring comfort and peace. Keep searching, dear Ellie." Ellie nodded and thanked the nightingale before continuing her journey. As she walked deeper into the jungle, Ellie heard a chorus of rhythmic croaks near a clear, sparkling brook. There, a family of frogs was gathered on lily pads, harmonizing to the sound of flowing water. "Oh, frogs!" Ellie called. "Your voices are so steady and coming. Is this the perfect lullaby?" One of the elder frogs croaked wisely. "Our songs are meant to sing in the rain and to celebrate the coolness of the night. A perfect lullaby must be something that makes your heart feel safe and warm. Keep searching, little one." Ellie sighed, but thanked the frogs for their melody. Though it was beautiful, it did not feel like the lullaby she was searching for. Further into the jungle, Ellie felt a soft breeze weave through the trees, creating a gentle, hushed melody. The wind seemed to hum a song of its own, brushing through the tall grass and making the fireflies dance in its wake. "Oh, wind," Ellie said softly, "your voice is so gentle and kind. Is this the perfect lullaby?" The wind swirled around Ellie, playing with her ears before answering. "My song carries the whispers of the trees and the secrets of the stars. But a true lullaby is more than just a sound. It must come from the heart." Ellie thanked the wind and continued on, her heart beginning to feel weary. She had heard so many wonderful sounds, but none of them felt quite right. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky turned a deep shade of purple, Ellie slowly made her way back home. She felt a little disappointed. Maybe she would never find the perfect lullaby. When she arrived, her mother was waiting for her, her kind eyes glowing in the soft moonlight. "Ellie, my dear. Where have you been?" her mother asked, nuzzling her gently. "I was looking for the perfect lullaby, but I couldn't find it anywhere," Ellie admitted, her voice full of sadness. Her mother smiled and pulled Ellie close. "Oh, my sweet Ellie, the perfect lullaby has been here all along." And with that, she began to hum. It was the same lullaby Ellie had heard every night since she was born, the gentle, warm song of her mother's voice. As her mother's melody wrapped around her like a soft blanket, Ellie felt her heart grow warm, her worries fade, and her eyes grow heavy with sleep. As Ellie drifted off, she realized the truth. The most perfect lullaby was not just a song, but the love and warmth behind it. It was not about the melody or the words, but about the feeling of being safe, cared for, and loved. With a peaceful sigh, Ellie snuggled into her mother's embrace, knowing that she had finally found the most beautiful lullaby in the world. And as the stars twinkled above the jungle, the soft melody of a mother's love carried Ellie into the sweetest dream. In a quiet little garden, hidden behind an old wooden fence, lived a tiny snail named Shelley. He had a round, shiny shell with golden swirls, and he loved to explore every corner of his home. But there was one thing that made Shelley different from the other creatures in the garden. He moved very, very slowly. Each morning, when the dew still sparkled on the leaves and the birds sang their soft morning songs, Shelley would peek out from his cozy home under a big cabbage leaf and begin his day. But today felt different. Today I will explore places I've never been before, he thought, feeling a little excited and a little nervous at the same time. And so his great adventure began. Shelley stretched his tiny antennae toward the warm sunlight and took his first slow, steady steps. The garden was buzzing with life. Bees hummed as they visited flowers, ants marched in long lines, and a family of sparrows chirped happily on a tree branch. As Shelley made his way across the garden path, he spotted something shiny in the grass. It was a tiny golden pebble. "What a beautiful treasure," he whispered to himself. "Maybe I'll find more magical things today." With the golden pebble safely tucked inside his shell, he continued on his journey. After a while, Shelley heard a strange clunk-clunk sound. Looking around, he spotted Max the dung beetle, pushing a giant ball of dirt. "Hello, Max. What are you doing?" Shelley asked curiously. "I'm cleaning up the garden," Max replied proudly. "I roll these dirt balls to help keep the soil rich and healthy." Shelley watched in amazement. "That's very important work, Max." Max grinned. "Thanks, Shelley. If you're exploring, you should visit the Mystic Pond. They say the water there sparkles like the stars." "That sounds magical," Shelley exclaimed. He thanked Max and slowly made his way toward the pond. Shelley's journey led him to a field of wild flowers where the air smelled sweet and the petals danced in the breeze. As he admired the colours, a beautiful butterfly named Bella fluttered down beside him. "Hello, Shelley. Would you like to taste some nectar?" Bella offered. Shelley's eyes widened. "Oh, yes, please." Bella guided him to a flower with a tiny droplet of golden nectar. Shelley took a slow sip. It was the sweetest thing he had ever tasted. "That was wonderful. Thank you, Bella." "You're welcome, Shelley. Are you on an adventure?" "Yes, I'm looking for the Mystic Pond. Have you ever been there?" Bella nodded. "It's past the whispering grass. Be careful, the tall grass moves in the wind and tickles your shell." Shelley giggled. "I don't mind a little tickling." As Shelley made his way through the tall, swaying grass, he felt the tiny blades brushing against his shell. Swish, swish, swish. Suddenly, he heard a tiny voice. "Help, help!" Shelley stopped. Who could that be? He looked around and spotted a little ladybug stuck in a spider's web. "Don't worry, I'll help you," Shelley said bravely. With careful movements, he nibbled on the sticky threads until the ladybug was free. "Oh, thank you, Shelley," the ladybug said. "I thought I'd be stuck there forever." Shelley smiled. "Everyone needs a little help sometimes." The ladybug flapped her tiny wings. "As a thank you, let me show you a secret way to the pond." Following the ladybug's secret path, Shelley finally reached the Mystic Pond. The water sparkled in the moonlight. Tiny ripples danced across the surface, and fireflies twinkled like stars. "This place is even more magical than I imagined," Shelley whispered. As he admired the beauty, the fireflies began to blink in a soft, sleepy rhythm. Blink, blink, blink. The gentle glow made Shelley feel warm and cozy inside. He let out a big yawn. This feels nice," he murmured, curling up on a soft patch of moss. His little eyes grew heavier and heavier until Shelley the snail drifted into the sweetest dream, filled with twinkling fireflies, shimmering water, and the soft whispers of the night. As the fireflies continued their silent lullaby, the garden slowly settled into a peaceful slumber. The wind whispered softly through the leaves. The stars twinkled gently above. And in his cozy little spot by the Mystic Pond, Shelley dreamed of new adventures waiting for him tomorrow. Good night, little one. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let your dreams carry you away just like Shelley. Welcome to tonight's story. Tonight we meet a little bunny who loves to gaze at the sparkling night sky, where the stars shine like little gems. Every night she imagines magical stories whispered by the stars. Let this story gently guide your child into peaceful sleep and sweet dreams, just like the little bunny loves. In a quiet little forest, where the trees whispered in the wind and the fireflies danced like tiny lanterns, there lived a small, fluffy rabbit named Luna. She loved looking at the night sky, especially the twinkling stars. Every night, she would sit outside her burrow and gaze up in wonder. One evening, as the moon shone gently and the world was wrapped in a soft silver glow, Luna noticed something special. Among all the stars, there was one that sparkled brighter than the rest. It twinkled like a tiny diamond, sending out golden beams that made Luna's heart fill with curiosity. Why that star shines so brightly, I wish I could find out, Luna whispered. Determined to discover its secret, she closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and made a wish. Please, let me visit the shiniest star in the sky. As soon as she whispered her wish, a gentle breeze carried her into a soft, dreamy sleep. When Luna opened her eyes, she was no longer in her burrow. Instead, she was floating high above the trees, soaring through the night sky like a feather in the wind. The air was cool and crisp, filled with the scent of moonflowers. She drifted higher and higher until she found herself standing on a fluffy cloud. In front of her stood a shimmering figure, star guardian, with a cloak made of stardust and eyes that sparkled like the galaxy. "Welcome, little one," the star guardian said with a warm smile. "You wished to know why the star shines so brightly, didn't you?" Luna nodded eagerly. The guardian chuckled softly and pointed to the glowing star nearby. "It shines because it is filled with kindness, love, and dreams. The more love it receives, the brighter it glows." Luna's eyes widened. "So, stars shine because of love?" The guardian nodded. "Yes. Every time someone makes a wish, shares happiness, or dreams with a kind heart, the stars grow brighter." Luna smiled, feeling warmth spread through her little paws. "Then I'll always share love and kindness, so the stars will always shine." The guardian gently touched Luna's forehead, and in an instant, she felt herself floating again, drifting back to her cozy burrow. Luna slowly opened her eyes and found herself curled up in her warm nest. The stars were still twinkling above, and the air was filled with a soft, sleepy hush. She yawned, stretching her tiny paws. "Maybe I was dreaming," she murmured. But when she looked up at the sky, she saw that the shiny star was glowing even brighter than before. A gentle smile spread across her face. She snuggled deeper into her fluffy bed, her heart filled with warmth and peace. As Luna's eyes fluttered closed, she whispered, "Good night, little star. I'll always dream with love." And with that, she drifted off into the sweetest, coziest sleep. Good night, little dreamer. May your dreams be filled with magic, love, and twinkling stars. Hello, welcome back to Dreamy, Bedtime Story. This is a soothing bedtime tale with relaxing music specially created to turn bedtime into a magical dream. Let's unwind, drift away, and embark on a gentle journey into the world of imagination. Sweet dreams, little one. In a lush and vibrant forest, there lived a little turtle named Timmy. Unlike the other animals who ran, flew, or leaped around, Timmy moved slowly, taking in every detail of his beautiful home. He loved the gentle rustling of leaves, the distant chirping of birds, and the soft, cool ground beneath his feet. But what Timmy loved the most was exploring new places, even if it took him longer than everyone else. One sunny morning, as Timmy stretched his little legs and peeked out from his cozy shell, he decided it was the perfect day for an adventure. The forest was calling to him with its mysterious paths and hidden wonders. With a deep breath, he took his first step forward, his tiny feet pressing into the soft earth. As he moved through the trees, Timmy met his first friend of the day, a rabbit named Sammy.
"Where are you off to, Timmy?"
Sammy chattered, tail flicking back and forth. "I'm exploring the forest," Timmy said with a smile. "Would you like to come along?" Sammy giggled. "I would, but I move too fast. I'd be at the other side of the forest before you even crossed this path. But be careful and enjoy the journey." Timmy nodded and continued on his way. The sun filtered through the leafy canopy above, casting golden patches of light on the forest floor. He took his time, stopping to watch a ladybug crawl on a blade of grass, listening to the trickling sound of a nearby stream, and admiring the delicate petals of a wildflower. As midday arrived, Timmy felt the warmth of the sun making him a little sleepy. He remembered what his wise grandmother once told him. "When you feel tired, don't rush rest. The world will still be here when you wake up." Finding a shady spot under a big oak tree, he curled up inside his shell and drifted off into a peaceful nap. When he woke up, the forest had changed. The sun was lower in the sky, and a cool breeze whispered through the trees. Timmy yawned and stretched, feeling refreshed and ready to continue. He hadn't gone far when he met Benny the bunny, who was hopping excitedly in place. "Timmy, have you seen the hidden pond? It's just beyond the hill." Benny's long ears twitched with excitement. Timmy's eyes widened. "A hidden pond? That sounds wonderful." "Race you there!" Benny shouted, bounding off. Timmy chuckled and shook his head. He knew he couldn't race, but he didn't mind. Slowly but surely, he made his way toward the hill. The climb was steep, but Timmy didn't rush. He took his time, taking small breaks to enjoy the view. At the top, he gasped before him lay a shimmering pond, its surface reflecting the golden hues of the setting sun. The water was so still and clear that he could see tiny fish swimming beneath. Benny was already there, hopping around the edge. "You made it, Timmy. You're just in time for the fireflies." As if on cue, tiny lights began to flicker around them. The fireflies danced in the twilight, their gentle glow making the whole forest feel magical. Timmy sighed happily. He had taken his time, and yet he had arrived at the perfect moment. Feeling content, Timmy found a comfortable patch of grass and lay down, watching the fireflies swirl above. He felt a deep sense of peace. He had explored, met friends, and discovered something new. But most importantly, he had listened to himself resting when he needed, moving at his own pace, and enjoying every step of the journey. As the stars twinkled above, Timmy closed his eyes, letting the soft sounds of the forest lull him into a gentle sleep. And in his dreams, he continued his slow and wonderful adventure, knowing that tomorrow would bring another beautiful journey, one step at a time.